Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. And if you don't know who I am the self-proclaimed debt payoff goat. Just a few minutes ago, I asked not ChatGPT, Meta AI, to draw the goat of debt payoff, and apparently this is me, right? So, and why do I call myself the self-proclaimed debt payoff goat? Well, because I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this. Maturity date 2051. Okay. July 29, 2024. So if you kind of do the math, it's like, whoa, 2 years and 9 months, total amount due zero, lien position one. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And so this is kind of, I don't exactly look like this, but inside my head, I kind of do. And I actually have a farm, believe it or not. So this is my farm that I bought in 2022. So you remember when people were going crazy over real estate and buying over asking price? Well, I bought it about $100,000 under asking price, and I literally have 2 acres to myself, even though it's technically a rental property. And I was thinking, man, that would be so cool if I could have a debt payoff goat farm, right? So I'm not the only goat out there. And if you don't know what goat means, it's just an acronym, the greatest of all time. So you can all be your own goats, especially with debt payoff, right? And what's cool is ChatGPT had some cool ideas about, how I could create my farm. And let's go ahead and see what ChatGPT has to say about this. A debt payoff goat farm sounds both hilarious and inspiring. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
A debt payoff goat farm sounds both hilarious and inspiring. Let's make it a reality. Here are some ideas to bring this concept to life. 1. Branding the farm. Name Debt Free Acres, Financial Freedom Farm, or Goatify Your Finances. Mascot A literal goat named Equity or Freedom. Slogan Where the greatest of all time pay off debt in record time. Farm features Debt free trails. Each trail represents a different debt payoff strategy, e.g., Snowball Path, Velocity Valley. Education Barn. Host workshops or create interactive exhibits to teach visitors about your strategies for paying off debt. Goat statues. Erect statues of symbolic goats with names like HELOC Hero and Mortgage Master. 3. Online presence. Create a debt payoff goat farm website where visitors can learn about your journey, access tools, calculators, and templates for debt payoff. Join your financial coaching program. 4. Community engagement. Host GOAT challenges where people can share their debt payoff milestones. Create GOAT rankings for community members based on their debt to wealth transformations. Award badges or plaques for financial milestones, Mortgage Slayer, Credit Card Crusher, etc. 5. Merchandise. Debt payoff GOAT t shirts, mugs, and hats. Plush goats with financial tips on tags. Velocity Banking Blueprint, guides for attendees. 6. Fun twist for visitors. Let visitors interact with real goats on the farm while learning finance tips. For example, each goat can represent a financial principle: cash flow clover, saving sage, or investment ivy. This could be a fun way to merge your financial expertise, creativity, and community building. Would you like help drafting the vision for this, or should we sketch out the first debt free GOAT event?
Ooh, a debt-free goat event. That'd be pretty cool. So yes, we're gonna do this today. Velocity banking. That's how we became the goat debt payoff goat, greatest of all time. And yeah, you know, so that's what we're gonna do today. And if you don't know anything about me, I also have a $280,000 home equity line of credit. $280,000. And this was me when I wasn't a goat, but a purple cosmic being when first had access to my HELOC. And that's how you might feel if you get access to a HELOC as well. So in today's scenario, we're gonna just do things a little bit differently because I always love to show like the 10 credit cards and all that, but we'll just do one credit card and then one auto loan and one student loan. And unlike most scenarios where we have like um homeowners, right? Because we can use the final step to pay off the mortgage, we're just gonna do rent, right? Now, A lot of people, okay, think that banks like dealing with poor people. And so the reason I don't like dealing with like lower income scenarios is because there's really very few debt opportunities as a lower income person unless you're getting into student loan debt. And we've done reactions on that, how almost criminal it is that the US government allows people to get into insane student loans that they can't pay back. But we're going to make it reasonable here. But I don't know if you knew this or not, but banks don't lend money to people who need it. So when people say things like, "Well, can you do a lower income?" Like, what are you talking about? No one's going to lend you money if you don't have any income, right? That's why in the credit card applications they always have the income box. And again, I don't recommend you ever do this because there have been tons of people who've gone to jail for this. But if you do lie, sometimes people are able to get through the bank systems, and you should never lie, right? Don't ever lie because you might go to federal, pound me in the A prison, okay? But my point is this: sometimes I might do a lower income scenario, but the banks don't like dealing with lower income people. And I know this as a person who used to make $20,000 a year. And so the more income you make, this is the bank's ideal scenario, they're gonna lend you some debt and then they hope that you don't pay it off. That's all velocity banking is. You just pay off debt quickly, dump all your money in debt with the help of a line of credit. And so many people overcomplicate this. Okay. So what we're gonna do is assume that we're gonna be a lower than we income than we normally deal with. And we don't have a mortgage and we only have three debts. Okay. So income is $4,500 a month right here. Your expenses is $3,744 a month, and then you have $755 of savings left over. Now, everything's relative, right? So I remember I did an example where somebody makes 16 grand and we only had $1,200 left over. Now, if I made 16 grand and I only had $1,200 left over, I would be freaking out, right? I'm like, what's going on? I should be like super rich. Okay. And as I said before, you're the bank's ideal customer is someone who makes money but simply just doesn't know how to manage it, right? And we actually did a reaction to a nurse who was kind of like that, but I'm pretty sure I could find more and more examples on TikTok, or I just look up YouTube compilation videos. Those are easy, right? You look at YouTube debt free debt, struggling TikTok compilation, and then I have an infinite amount of content that I can react to. But let's just go here. So here we have one credit card, one auto loan, one student loan, and then rent, and then your general expenses. So we'll just say this is just for one person. And here's the thing: I used to rent a place like a luxury apartment, one bed, one bath, and it was like $1,200 a month. And you know what's crazy? At that same year when I moved out, I moved into a brand new home, $900 a month mortgage, three bed, three bath. And I was like, this is a no brainer. I get not only do I get to be a homeowner, okay, but I get like 2 more rooms and 2 more bathrooms, so why wouldn't I do that, right? It's crazy how things were just, in 2021, because that's when I became a homeowner, right? So, here's the thing. Would I be a homeowner today, like a brand new retail home? Probably not. I would just get a home at a discount, right? And so if you don't know what I mean by that, if the house is worth $300,000, I'd get it for 200. And a lot of people are saying that this is not possible. Folks, the profession of wholesaling real estate could not exist unless people were able to constantly do this over and over again. Now, is it an easy profession? No, but it's a very hard profession that requires a lot of skill. But if you're able to do it right, then you're able to easily find discounted homes over and over again. So if you're just a guy or a gal who wants to kind of buy a couple of homes in your lifetime, maybe you might want to go through a wholesaler, right? Buy it at $100,000, $200,000 discount. If you have the funds, you got the line of credit to fix it. Why not use it, right? So that might be something that you want to consider. Okay. So let me go back here. So here's the other thing too. Let's say the rent is a burden. I might just go ahead and live with my parents and then zero, right? That's probably what I would do. You want to know the ultimate cash flow hack? Live with your parents, right? And that's probably what I do. And I'm like, I don't need to pay rent, right? And so, but then too many people, they overextend themselves. And so, what was the rent? What did I put? Yeah, 1,300. So we'll just assume we have $755 in savings. And then the other unrealistic thing that I'm going to declare is we have access to a line of credit. Okay, and it doesn't have to be that big. We'll just say $15,000 at maybe, 12%, 13, 15, we'll just say 15. All my personal lines of credit that I have is like 15%. And if you don't know what a line of credit is, all it is a financial tool where you can borrow money, pay back, and then use it over and over again. That's all a line of credit is. And again, there's different types of lines of credit. This is my home equity line of credit for $280,000, right? In some markets, that's really small. In fact, I know somebody who had money issues and got a new home equity line of credit for 300 and something thousand dollars because that person lived in California, right? You want equity? Just live in California and see your real estate value grow, and then you'll magically get equity, right? That's like the ultimate cheat hack, living in California if you want some equity, and maybe New York City, right? So, okay. So, yeah, so I this is a free and clear line of credit, $280,000, and basically, I could literally go to the bank's website, click a button, and then they'll dump 280,000 for me. Pretty cool, right? That's a cool tool. And again, all a home equity line of credit is that you're getting like a credit card like financial instrument. Okay, credit card like financial instrument, and then you're offering your home equity as collateral. That's all you're doing. Home equity as collateral, and that's pretty much it. And then you get an 8% credit card like device, and you can use it to pay anything. And that's the really cool thing. So, yeah, let's do the velocity banking side of the budget. So, the velocity banking at its core is you're dumping all of your money into debt with the help of a line of credit. That's all it is. People overcomplicate this stuff too much, but you want to get rid of debt, throw all your money at it. And the biggest fear that people have when it comes to paying off debt is that you need savings. That's really it, right? And but if you kind of just treat your line of credit as your savings account, then none of this should be an issue, right? None of this should be an issue. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna move this credit card into the line of credit. Now, in real life, this wouldn't happen. And if you want to see a real life scenario where people had like 22 debts and there was a maxed out line of credit, because that's probably what would happen if you had access to a line of credit. Because number one, banks don't lend money to people who need it. And then number two, if you already had a line of credit, you're probably treating it like a maxed out credit card, right? But for now, just to make the demonstration easy, I'm gonna move the credit card into the line of credit. So this is gonna be 14000. And then guess what happens here? Now we get $443 in our cash flow back, which is pretty good, right? So now we go from 755 to $1,200 into our cash flow, and then our final step is moving this into the line of credit. This paycheck, 4,500, expenses out and rinse and repeating over and over again. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the calculations. All right. So what we're going to do is take the previous month's balance, previous month's interest, subtracted by our cash flow, and then just keep going. And then, so now what we're going to do is take the average daily balance, right? That's how the interest is calculated, multiply it by the interest rate, or this is actually interest rate is 15, and then divide by 12. Okay, so in order to use this line of credit, all I had to pay was a couple hundred, or not a couple hundred, 160, and then it just kind of goes down and down and down and down. And then in 13 months, this is completely paid off, right? So month 13, we paid off 14K of debt. So now our goal is to tackle the student loan. There's only two loans here, the student and the auto. Now, here's the thing. If someone has $1,100 in savings, do you think they're going to throw the entire 1,100 into auto and student loan? Probably not. So what we're going to do is just make it easy for us to pay it off using the help with the line of credit, even if we had a 15% interest rate. Okay. So let me go ahead and just kind of show you my loan balance calculator, right? I think this is correct. So 25, 30, student auto. Yeah, I think this is correct. And so now what we do is on what month are we? 13. Okay, we can calculate the balance. Oh, did I screw up? I screwed up. Oh my goodness. I need to preserve the formula. Hold on. Give me one moment. Okay, give me one moment. Uh, bu- 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 All right, there we go. I figured out the formula. It's kind of complicated, but it's kind of not. You just got to put in three variables. And yeah, this is how it is to figure out the current balance when you put in the month, I think. Hopefully, I did this correct. Did I not do it correct? Oh, baloney balls. Okay, let me redo this. Payment. It is F3. That's probably what it is. F3. Yeah, this is where we're at. Okay. So now let me just do this. All right. So now um here we have month 13 and a $20,000 balance, and we don't, two things. Number one, we only have a $15,000 line of credit. And so we don't want to necessarily move this into the line of credit or all of it. But also we could just do what we call chunking, right? Just kind of move pieces of the loan into the line of credit. So let's just do kind of a $5,000 chunk right here. So we'll just do $5,000. And then I'm just going to do this plus 5000, okay? And then is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then so about a little bit about probably under 4 months because we're still making the payment. We're going to pay off about 5 grand in the principal, and then we just do it over and over again. And that's really what chunking is. And especially if you have, let's say, a loan or a CFI above 50, you want to use the chunking method. And below 50, I always like to see 20 and 30 if I'm just going to move a loan into a line of credit. And if you don't know what the CFI is, then ignore what I said. Just look at cash flow index on Google. So let's go ahead and open up the velocity banking calculator to figure out how much we're going to pay off in debt, or how fast we quickly pay it off. So give me one moment. All right, there we go. We have a velocity banking calculator here, where you just plug and play and put in the numbers. And if you want to know where I got this is from Renata's. So if you're interested in not only learning about velocity banking, but upping your real estate investing and financial literacy game, go ahead and click the Google form link below. I do get commission when you buy, believe it or not. So again, I'm an affiliate marketer. Kind of bad one, but you know, people do buy from me. All right, so here's the thing. Okay, so let me just do this, and we'll just do a $5,000 chunk, and you can see in 1 year it's paid off. Okay, now here's the actually, let me just write down the progress here. So 13 plus 12, that's 25 months. And how much do we pay? All right, so that's 14 plus 25. So that's 39K. Okay. Now, this is 0. So, one thing I do want to mention is, let's imagine that this car loan was 0%. So, if I go in here and then I put in 0% as the car loan, the payment amount is 416.67. So, I'm just going to do this 0, 416, 4. Hold on. Did I do it right? Yeah, 0, 416.67. So, and let's say this started out at 25,000, 416.67. Okay. So if we take a look here, okay, and we use a $15,000, sorry, $15,000, 15% interest rate on the line of credit, the max that will overpay, even at 0%, is $541, right? And so it's very interesting how even with the 0% loan, I know a lot of people freak out from going to 0 to 15 or low interest rate to high interest rate. But again, at this stage, at certain stages of the process, and again, this is why you have to think holistically, you might pay a little bit more for using the line of credit. Okay. Like, you might pay a little bit more. So sometimes maybe in the process, like, hey, you got a 0 interest percent loan. Does it make sense to use a 15% line of credit to pay it off? Probably not. But even if you did screw up and use a 15%, let me check 30. Yeah, that one will double. Okay. So 15% is 500. Let me see, 8, 200. Interesting. 4, right? So it's the double the rate, the double the interest. But what I'm saying is that even if you used a 15% line of credit, you'd be overpaying by $541 for a 0% interest loan, which I think is very interesting, right? And again, in this economy, like think about this, sometimes you pay a little bit more for convenience, right? It's why people pay DoorDash. It's why people pay for Uber Eats. And so a lot of people make this argument about how you should always go for the lowest amount of savings. And I think a little bit differently than that because the way that I think is that because the loan is a one-way street and because so many people are going to have a hard time what we call segregating their income. Because think about it, if you have $1,600 and now you dump all your money into either the student loan or the auto loan, like, which one do you put it in? How are you gonna figure it out, right? A lot of people have struggled with that, so that's why we kinda used a line of credit as a bridge to help us pay it off quickly, and if you don't wanna use the line of credit, that's perfectly valid as well. But even in a 0% interest case, like, it's not gonna be, that bad, and I've even done this with mortgages before too. Um, but I'll go over that in a later video, but let me go ahead and so this is 25 months, so in 25 months, we pay off here. And so 5% line of credit, or not line of credit, loan, 24 grand. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So 30000, right? And then 24920.7, 24920.7. And then this is 10 years. And let me just do this. Um, 318.2. Okay, and the interest rate is 5%. And what is our living expenses? It's everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. So just be these two, and that would be 2,500. 2,500. Well, look at that. We'll just take another year to pay off the student loan. All right, so that's 25 plus 12. Okay, and then 37. So 3 years and 1 month, and then we're debt free. And see how easy that was? And now I got to write you are the goat. And let me look for a goat emoji to paste here. So give me 1 second. Goat emoji. You are the goat as well. So let me see if, oh, look at this. This is so cool. I'm posting a goat emoji on Excel. And so I guess I need to invite you all to my goat farm, right? And I don't know what you prefer, debt-free acres, financial freedom farm, or goatify your finances. Which one do you prefer? I actually like debt-free acres. That sounds very peaceful. Debt-free acres. Feel like I can go there and eat some grass-fed beef or probably grass-fed goats, right? I don't think goats eat corn. Do they feed goats corn here in this country? Do we even sell goat meat in this country? That's interesting. All right. Okay. Well, that's it for today, folks. Yeah, so that's just velocity banking. And I need more goats in my goat farm. I can't be the only goat, or else I'm just going to be lonely at the top. Okay. All right. Well, it's Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Have a great day. And don't forget to goatify your finances. Kind of sounds cheesy, but I guess I should at least say it once. All right. Have a great day.